Hello, my crafty friends, it's Tranae, and today I am about to decorate this traveler notebook insert. And the layout that I'm using for today is inspired by a card that Shari Carroll did for Simon Says Stamp, and I really liked it, so I decided to use it today. So I am using a kit from Simon Says Stamp, and I got it a while ago, y'all, and I just haven't used it. So I wanted to pull it out and use it for my traveler's notebook for what I do, my planning and everything for Becoming Fab, because how appropriate, you know. So all I'm doing is taking the traveler's notebook insert and covering it with score tape. And I'm not putting any on the seams of the notebook just so it will bend. I go right up into the seams. I stop a little shy of it, and then I take the cover that I want to use, and I am just going to lay that right on top of there and cover the notebook for it. Now what I did was I cut the paper that I'm using and scored it to the exact measurements of a traveler's notebook. However, if I had to do this again, I would make it just a little bit bigger and wider, I should say. I would make it a little bit wider and then trim off any excess after I have it on my cover. And as you can see, I'm removing a page because it was so thick that cover just wasn't going on there. It was causing like it did something weird. I can't describe it, but it did something weird. So I took a couple of pages out and that fixed everything. So after I did that, I went on ahead and I am going to stick it down on the other side. Now I like to do one side and then the next. That just helps me get an even layout. If you can lay it all out at one time, then God bless you, but I can't do it. So I do my one side at the next, and then I kind of like rub on it real good just to get the score tape to stick to it. Another option you can do is just remove the old insert cover and just replace it. If you have a stapler that's long enough. I had a stapler, as you can see, ran out of staples. That's so me. So that's why I end up like covering it. All right, so the first thing I am going to do is that paper that I took out of the traveler's notebook. I'm gonna use it on my layout because I need some white paper, and this is already the right height. All I have to do is cut the width to size, and it works out. But because I want to add some texture to it using this embossing folder, I am going to run it through my die cutting / embossing machine to get that print, and I did that off camera because I ain't feel like moving that thing. And then of course again I pull out the score tape. I use score tape whenever I am doing something that is going to get a lot of movement. Something like a traveler notebook insert is something that you're going to use a lot. Pretty much I use this every day for a month, so that's a lot of wear and tear. When you're doing something like a card, you might not have to use as much score tape. You can use something else, but for for this, plus it has all that texture, I wanted to make sure it stayed down. All right, so moving on to the decorative paper. This made me so happy, so happy. The page had a natural break in it, so that's exactly where I made my cut. So I couldn't give you like an actual dimension for this. I pretty much just eyeballed everything. And since the paper isn't long enough, I cut it in the middle, and then I kind of let the other sheet of paper that I use, I just kind of let that disguise the fact that it's not one continuous piece of paper. And honestly, you can't even tell. It looks the same as it would look if it was a long sheet of paper. That's another way to stretch your papers out. I know I do this a lot with scrapbooking. If I'm using like a paper as a border, I'm not gonna use all that. It's just be the border. So you guys, I used my sticker maker to put some tape or adhesive on the back of that, and then I'm grabbing a T-square ruler to make sure that everything lines up straight, and I can get that top and bottom piece to both be on the same line. This really helps a lot. But as you can see, this project is coming together pretty fast. It was really easy to do, and yeah, it was just really easy to do. So I do the top piece and then I stick on the bottom piece. And that is pretty much that whole layer. To me, I just love that paper. It's so cute. But for my next layer, I'm using this orange sheet of paper, and it has a print on it. You can't really tell on camera, but it does have a subtle print, and it's like a tone on tone, and I thought it was really cute. And all I do is eyeball it and come up with my dimensions and cut it down to size. So after I add glue on the back of that, I rub it down to make sure I have no glue boogers, and then I just stick it right on top of that insert, and as you can see, it conceals that paper wasn't long enough to cover that entire insert. So after I do this, it's time for the fun part. It's time for the fun part. Time for the fun part. We about to start stamping. So this kit came with like this really cute stamp set that featured a lot of craft supplies, and I wanted to use them. So I am going to stamp out like a paintbrush, some scissors, a tube of paint, a pencil, a bunch of different stuff, and various colors of the rainbow. So for my inks, I'm using a lot of Simon Says stamp inks. They have really good inks, you guys. And I really do, I want to finish out my collection, but you know, I'm just waiting on the money to do it. But eventually I'm gonna finish out my collection of inks. Yeah, that's on a side note. Add that to my to buy list. That's like 10,000 items long. So all I do is I'm kind of using that ruler to kind of create a straight line. I'm not gonna be like super precise, like, oh my god, it has to be. It's just more so that everything kind of looks neat, and I play around trying to get the stamps to the line up the way I want them to, and then I start stamping. So what I did with the stamping is I kind of mask off the other stamps when I'm applying it, stamp it down, peel up that stamp, and then move on to the next one. So as I stamp, I take one stamp away each time until I get to that very last pair of scissors, and then I stamp it out and just keep it moving. It was easy peasy. So for the sentiment, I used one in the stamp set that says "Crafters Gone Craft," and I thought that was really cute. And I tried to stamp it out with some white ink first, as you can see, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I went back to my old reliable VersaFine and stamped out my Crafters Gonna Craft sentiment. And now I'm just going to line it up where I want it on the card, and I am using score tape for this, not because I have to at this point, but because I'm out of the tape that I normally use, and that was on the desk, so I just grabbed it and I put that on there. And after that, I run it through what do you call those things? I run it through my paper trimmer to trim down some of the excess on the bottom, because I used one of those cards that were already pre-cut, and I didn't know exactly how long I was going to want it, so I put all my images on there and then decided to cut it down after everything was on there. So at this point, nothing left to do but add some glue, and by glue I mean that sticker maker machine. I love that thing, so I'm going to use that to put adhesive all on the back of this little white card and banner, and then I am just going to stick it on my paper. And that is today's project, you guys. I am really happy about being back into a traveler's notebook insert type style planner. I really missed it. I did a ring bound last month and it just didn't work out for me, so I had to come back home. But you guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and you know the routine, go ahead and share it with your crafty friends, but also like this video and leave me a comment. You know, let me know what's your what you like about the Traveler's Notebook, or about this video, or whatever, what else. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.